Hello students, myself R.K.Mishra. In this video session, I will describe you the natural resources. From session 2020-21, as you all know, due to corona pandemics, many topics as well as many lessons are reduced due to having a very short duration we have. So, natural resources is one of them. Actually, natural resources is available in class 9th and 10th students. In class 9th and 10th syllabus, but it will be not assessed as a final examination. It will assessed at throughout the different kinds of home examination, maybe unit 1, unit 2 and different kinds of periodic assessment, and also during the class session, during the class test it will be assessed. But for class 12, for class 10th and for class 9th, it will not assessed, it will not assigned as a final session, as the final sessional examination, as the final annual examination. So there has a very lack importance but little knowledge required to know about the natural resources. Actually, natural resources can be defined as all the natural occurring substances, maybe air, water, sunlight, maybe the abiotic components that are beneficial for you, beneficial for me, another human or the other living being, that is called as natural resources. So natural resources को पहले define कर देते हैं. Define natural resources may be defined as all biotic and abiotic components that exist in nature and beneficial for mankind. It means all those substances that are beneficial for mankind and other living being are known as natural resources. Only one condition required: they are natural occurring substances, means they do not synthesize by human being and other factories or companies or by means of any human interference. So natural resources are actually natural occurring substances. That is, for example, air. If you inhale air, then air do not synthesize by human being. It is natural occurring substances, and it comes in our environment so that we can inhale the oxygen. Similarly, we produce carbon dioxide, which will be inhaled by the, which will be taken out by the green plants in order to perform their very important process that is known as photosynthesis. So, natural occurring substances are actually required in the natural resources. Now, back to the classification of natural resources. Classification of natural resources. Let us talk about the classification of natural resources. As here mentioned, the biotic and abiotic components are key factors, key points for the natural resources. So, natural resources may be categorized as abiotic and biotic. Abiotic and biotic substances are categorized in the major group of natural resources. Abiotic substances are the air, water, soil. Listen, air, water and soil are key ingredients of abiotic substances. And apart from other, there are so many metals, there are so many non-metals that exist in nature, which is actually the byproduct of these substances. They may be either the air, water or soil. Not only the abiotic substances, air, water or soil are natural resources. Sunlight are also a part of natural resources. They are exist in nature. Listen carefully. So you should mention the sunlight. air, water, soil and sunlight. Now back to the biotic natural resources. The biotic natural resources may be plants and animals. So these are the key points regarding the natural resources, and they are beneficial and they are interlinked together. Listen carefully. They are interlinked together means biotic and abiotic components are interlinked together to form the biospheres, that is the major part of our ecosystem. So what form the biosphere in our ecosystem? The interaction between the biotic and abiotic components in the atmosphere. So these together, that is these are the part of biotic and these are the part of abiotic components. Listen, abiotic further maybe the atmosphere, that is the part of our ecosystem in which the airs exist are atmospheres, the water, that is the hydrospheres, and soil that belong to the lithospheres. And biotic components, all those part of our environment where the living organisms exist, is known as biospheres. So it will be as a biospheres. It forms the biosphere. So what is biospheres actually? Biospheres are the part of our atmosphere, our ecosystem in which the living organisms exist. So I hope your concept regarding biosphere is clear. Now back to the air, water and soil. Abiotic components of natural resources. Actually natural resources are beneficial for us, beneficial for mankind. If they exist in nature, having no role for us, having no role for other kinds of animals, there will be not a part of natural resources. They may be the part of ecosystem, they may be the part of our earth ecosystem or our earth or any kinds of environment, but they are not natural resources. Natural resources are times beneficial for me, beneficial for other animals, beneficial for other human beings. Now back to the abiotic components. The air, water, soil. Listen, these are key abiotic components of our atmospheres. As you all know, sunlight is also a part of abiotic components, but they are actually required, they are universal required for the all kinds of living beings. Now back to the air. Air actually available in our atmosphere. It is a part of our atmosphere. Water form hydrosphere. Water form hydrosphere in our environment. Soil form lithosphere. Soil form the lithospheres in our environment. It means the pure assumptions of air, the pure assumptions of water and pure assumptions of the soil is the part of lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere respectively. One by one I will describe what are the different components of air, water and soil. Now back to the air. Now back to the air. Air may be defined as the mixture of different gases, like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, carbon monoxide, etc. Listen, mixture of different gases is known as air, and each gases are available in form of their molecules. Molecules are N2. If you find the N, there will be an atom. So every kinds of gases, every types of gases are available in form of their molecules. Now back to what are the basic gas, what are the key ingredients of our environment, what are the major gas that form the mixture of our environment. Actually, Earth environment has 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. Listen, 78% nitrogen and 28% oxygen are the major components of our Earth ecosystem, our Earth atmosphere. It is the major part of our atmosphere. So it is need to know that is the nitrogen and oxygen is key part of our atmosphere. So the question is, what are the two different gases that form the major part of our environment or major part of our atmosphere? Is the nitrogen 78% and oxygen 21%. As you all know, there are so many importance of nitrogen. Nitrogen are the key nutrients or the chief nutrients of the plants. That is nitrogen. Nitrogens are the chief nutrients of the plants. Listen, nitrogen are the chief ingredients of the plant's body and as well as the animal's body in form of the amino acids, in form of the ammonia, in form of the proteins. Your body has a proteins formed by different kinds of amino acids, and amino acids do not form without nitrogen. So how do nitrogen fix in our body? Listen, nitrogen actually fix in our body through the nitrogen gas, which is fixed by the plants, and later it will be reduced by the different kinds of way. So let's see nitrogen. How do nitrogen fix in our body? First of all, your body or animal's body do not able to fix directly nitrogen. So nitrogens are available in the atmosphere in form of the gas. So plants actually, suppose that this one is the plant, then plants directly take nitrogen and fix in form of the protein and other products, that is known as biomolecules. So even when the animals intake them, then nitrogen will be turned back into the animal's body, and the excretory products of the animals are nitrogen as excretory product. Further, the nitrogen released down to the atmosphere. This one is the nitrogen cycle. So the nitrogen comes from atmosphere and it will be fixed by the plants in form of protein, amino acid, etc. And later it will be taken out by the animals, which is turned back into atmosphere further by means of their excretion. These are the nitrogenous cycle, and that's why nitrogen is important part of our body. So question maybe appears that how do nitrogen form important parts of our body in form of amino acids, in form of proteins, and in form of different byproducts that are available in our body by means of the different byproducts of proteins like enzyme, like hormones, etc. So animals' body requires nitrogen in form of protein, amino acids, etc. So these are the importance of nitrogen. Now back to the importance of oxygen in our body. Role of oxygen in our life. Listen carefully. Oxygen, O2 required to burn, that is combustion of the substances. Means anything cannot burn in our environment even when the oxygen is absent. There are so many experiments you can do this. Without oxygen you cannot burn anything. O2 For example, like glucose in cell. O2 required, very less amount of oxygen required to break the glucose by means of respiration process. As you all know, suppose that C6H12O6, this one is the glucose, then this required to break. And how it will break? 6 molecule of oxygen. Then after breakdown of glucose, this one is the oxygen, and it is the gaseous form. Then 6 molecule of carbon dioxide, 6 molecule of H2O, and energy will be formed. Energy in form of ATP formed. Listen, which will be restored in mitochondria. Listen. So without oxygen you cannot get energy. How? Oxygen break the glucose, and glucose form the energy, and carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide further released out by you through the respiration process, and water by means of sweating, by means of urine, and by means of so many byproducts, it will be released out by your body. Not only your body respirate, the different kinds of plants also require the oxygen for the breakdown of glucose. So these are the role of oxygen in our body. Now back to the part of our other, that is the part of our universe. Not only Earth has the different mixture of gases. Not only Earth consists the air. Some other planets like Venus and Mars also consist a lot of amount of air, but the air do not have oxygen. For example, Venus and Mars also consist the air, but the having the high amount of carbon dioxide, which is 95 to 97% of the carbon dioxide available over there, so life do not possible. So there may be a question appears, why life do not possible elsewhere from the Earth? Because of having lack of oxygen and nitrogen gases. So keep in mind, Venus and Mars possess 97%, 95 to 97% of carbon dioxide, not oxygen. So the Venus and Mars do not have life. In next video lecture, I will describe you the other part of natural resources. Thank you.